Hello and welcome to my newest hobby vlog. I'm Morten, your host today, and if you've been following this little series, you will know that I have been gone for a while. And as I said in my last one, I was in America for 3.5 weeks, and now I've been home for 2 weeks. But last week I hadn't had anything painted up, because first week after flying you don't have so much stuff to do. But now I'm home and I've painted the stuff. So I want to say Happy New Year to all of you, because I guess we're in 2016 now, so that's awesome. And how about I just show you my miniatures that I've been painting, and we'll just take it from there. Yeah, let's do that. So, hello. First of all, here are my first two dwarf rangers. And you might be wondering why I just painted two. Well, there's a couple of reasons. First of all, for what I'm doing right now, I will initially only be needing two of them. Maybe you can guess what that's for. Why would I only be needing two dwarf rangers? Comment below if you can guess. The other reason is, I've just been gone for a while. I hadn't painted for 4 weeks. Doing a whole batch painting thing doesn't seem that fun. But I'd never painted any dwarf rangers, so I figured I should open my box and, get to it. And this is the result, as you see. I actually had my brother choose two poses for me. I was like, these are the poses in the box, so which ones do you like the most? And I'll do those. And these happen to be the two, and I really like them as well. And now that they're done, I like them both, especially the one to the right. So obviously I've been doing this with the bases you see in the same theme as my airboat dwarves, because my dwarven army will be all in the snow. Yeah, and I've also gone with a bit of a different color scheme than Games Workshop did. As you can see, if I put one of these closer up, let's see, I'll turn them around a bit so you'll get one in the front, one from the back. Is that I have these blue cloaks. I'm trying to get them focused. That was a failure. That was slightly better. Oh well. That is because I have a rule I made for myself, my dwarf army, which is there's no greens allowed. And the Games Workshop had painted these rangers with green cloaks, which was against my rule. So obviously I had to choose another color. But that was fine anyway, because I've used a lot of the Incubi Darkness based one, the blue, for my other dwarves, so it fit right in. And because they are rangers and in the snow, I wanted them to have mostly cold colors. So what you see with these guys is that I've given them Incubi Darkness base cloaks, blue. I have shaded them down with non-oil, and then I kept putting a little more white into my Incubi Darkness, and then I just did one layer of highlights, one shade, one layer of highlights, one shade. I think I did 4 or 5. And I think I did 4 highlights probably. So I had the base, and then I did a shade, and then I did 4 highlights, as well as one of this shade between each, and that is the final result, and I really like that. So I decided for the tunics to go with, let's see if I can get that closer up, the tunics here. Can you see that? I hope you can. A gray color. Yeah, and that is Dawnstone. And then it's same method as before. A little bit of shading into it with non-oil, and then just putting one more white in. And I think that came out pretty well on both of them. Then I did for the leather, so the pants well, not all that, but the pants and some of the other things that are associated with that. So the shirt, if they have a shirt under their tunic, That was done with a Steel Legion drab, and then the same principle as before, just putting a little more light in every layer and and stuff. And I think I also, after having done that, I put a layer of Agrax shit over it. I believe I'm not actually sure, but I did that. Well, maybe. The metals were based with the axe heads specifically were done with Ironbreaker and then chainmail to highlight, and while the handles were what's it called? Not Vulcan metal, the one lead Belgium, and then highlighted some of the parts, like edge highlighting with chainmail again. And I think the little chains and the little metal on the belt buckle thing, that was I think that was Ironbreaker again. Yeah, the skin, I do my typical Talon flesh, and I do the same way I've done all my other dwarves. If you don't know what that is I take the skin, then I use a red shading color, Carroburg Crimson on it. Then I highlight it again with well, then I do the first highlight with the same flesh color that I used before. Then I take Morten brown and I thin it down, and I put that in all the little creases and around the edges of the skin, and then I do a final highlight with the original flesh color again. And the beards are done the same principles as most of the other thing, with the base color highlighting, shading, highlight shade until I'm happy with it. This guy, the base color of his beard was One Eye Flesh, I believe it's called, and on this guy the base color was what's it called, Tumble Brown, and then I just put, instead of highlighting white, I used yellow to give him sort of a red beard. Yeah. And then if we turn him around, because this guy has a bit more stuff, this guy has a quiver. So the bow and the arrow were both based with Morten brown, while the straps holding the quiver in place was done with Gothor brown. I think I used Steel Legion drab for the main parts of the quiver, while the back next to it was done with Rhinox hide, and the same with the back and front here. And then, just as well as with the other ones, all those things were shaded down in the same method I use on most of my things, shaded down and highlighted up. Then I used the arrows up here. Oh, and I also think I used some Agrax shade on all the leathers. So, the arrows here, I said how the shafts of the arrows were done, but the feathers were done with the base of, I believe it was One Eye Flesh, and then I did an Agrax Earth shade, and then I highlighted it with a white. And that is basically how I painted these guys. But I hope you like them. I'm really happy with them, and try and guess why I will be needing 2 dwarfs in the future. What do you think is the reason? I'll tell you that it's the near future, and it's something that I'm going to be doing with Rob. At least that's the current plan. So yeah, hope you enjoy them. And let's get to the other thing that I have been doing this week, so I'm going to move these. And after that, I decided to do the last 2 Hunter Orcs in my second box. And I also have a third box. So now I have 24 Hunter Orcs on foot done. And all the ones in my second box, I tried to vary a little from the normal ones. For example, this guy has had most of his hair cut off, so he's bald. He does have some hair on the back, but otherwise he's bald, and he's painted, with some very light skin, and they're both painted with the same skin tone. What I changed on this guy from his original model is that I tried giving him some facial deformity. I don't know if you can tell. It's either like a deformity or like, oh, it's almost like a Freddy Krueger-ish burn on the top of his head. It might come off looking kind of like a weird fleshy helmet here. That's not the intention, but I mean that works as well. I think in person it looks more like it's part of his skin that's mutated or it's some kind of illness, you know, whatever. And I don't really want to go into too much detail about how I paint the Hunterhawks. They're pretty simple, and I've painted so many Hunterhawks in the past that I just wanted to show you guys what they look like. So here they are. Okay. So now that I'm done showing you what I painted, I want to do something else. So I'll be back in a moment. Oh, just a little mistake there. I also, this is what I'm currently working on. I'm working on 2 more. And I know some of you guys might think, why don't I batch paint these? I just can't stand doing too many at a time. It really makes the whole thing very tedious to me, so I prefer doing 2 to 4 at a time. I rarely do more than 4 at once. I did it with my goblins because they were so simple, but anyway. I'm doing 2 more Hunterhawks. I've done their skin so far, and I have done the missile parts. Let's see if I can see this guy. I've green stuffed. Also, a great big deformity on the side of his head. Looks like there's some kind of. You see, it's even misshaped his skull a little bit. I think that looks pretty cool. Yeah. And the other one, what I've done with him to vary him from his original, and these are actually, by the way, these 2 are the first ones I'm doing from the 3rd box. So the plan is to, in a few weeks, hopefully, have all 36 Hunterhawks done. This guy I've given an eye patch. You can't really see because there's flesh paint on some of it. But yeah, can you see I've sort of green stuff and eye patch on him? Yeah, he's going to be like the pirate orc. It's going to be awesome. But yeah. So, as I was saying before, now I will finally go back and show you what it is I have some plans. So, over here are my plans for the near future. And that is basically, I'm giving myself until, let's be slightly, I don't want to be too optimistic, but on the other hand, it can probably be done in a short amount of time than I'm giving myself, but let's say the end of April. I will get all this done by the end of April, hopefully before, but yeah. So, what I have here is I'm going to be not going to do it in any particular order, but I am going to start out by working on the Hunterhawks here, because that is the last warband I will be needing of them. And, you know, I'm already doing these 2. And what I will, so there will be, yeah, these 12 Hunterhawks will be the next thing. Then, once I've done them, I will be doing Narsak, foot and mounted. As you see, I've already done the walk over there in the background. So, I will be painting the foot and mounted ones at the same time to get the exact same colors and stuff. That was what I did with Bulk in his 2 forms, as well as Fimple. And that worked really well, because they were quite consistent. After that, I will move over and do all my remaining Dwarven Rangers. And once those Rangers are done, I will be doing Bilbo, Master Burglar, Thorin, King Under the Mountain. Then I will be doing Young Thorin Oakenshield, and I will be doing, what are they? Morin and Dra, something? I don't remember what that means. I'll be doing those 2 because they're going to be leading my Rangers. And after that, I will be doing Assarg on foot, and my converted, what's it called, White Walk, and all the Gundabats, which you know I did start on last year, and then that sort of stopped happening, and ignore what's over here on the side. That's all the finished dwarves, so ignore those. And yeah, Assarg, I painted him about 6 months into my 7 months into starting the hobby. I painted the mounted version, and then I never got around to this guy. So he needs to get done this year, so I can actually start playing with him. I did play him with him back when I have played with him in his unpainted state, but now I've reached the point where I don't want to play with unpainted miniatures, so he needs to be painted because I love Assarg. and I imagine the foot version is probably gonna end up being better painted than my mounted version, just because I'm better at painting now. Back when I painted the mounted version, he was my favorite of all my paint jobs. Now he's slightly below my average of what I do now. But that is my current plan. End of April, this will all be done. I'm sure most of you will agree that I can do it faster, maybe even the end of March, but I'm starting school soon, so I won't be too optimistic. But that is the plan currently, and I might jump a little bit back and forth between things. I might buy new miniatures that I want to suddenly paint. Who knows, I have so much stuff. I don't have a lot of stuff compared to a lot of people, but for me it feels like a lot of stuff, and I want to make sure that I paint more than what I buy. That's my goal this year, that by the end of the year my backlog will be severely shrunk. Yeah, it will be smaller. I will have a smaller backlog. That's the plan by the end of this year. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope you will be following my future hobby vlogs for 2016. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe. Support your hobby, and happy strategy battle gaming.